You literally had one moment that lasts for about 20 seconds where Boba Fett is putting on parts of his uniform. So he's got the glove, dun dun dun. Then he puts on like a knee brace, dun dun dun. Then he gets the helmet, dun dun dun. It is literally taking musical cues from Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey. Really, this show is just dead on arrival. So as promised, folks, this is my Afterthoughts review for the very first episode of Boba Fett. What do I say about this? Oh, by the way, I'm going to drop spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything at all, just turn away now. But if you decide to come back and watch this video as a whole, please maybe think about subscribing, maybe hit that like button, and if not, I will come and find you and I will hit you in the face with a wet fish, because that's how I like to roll. The book of Boba Fett, or is it Boba Fett? Because when Tamara Morrison, who plays the title role, says that, it sounds like he's saying Boba Fett. So hey, maybe it's my earring, maybe it's my earring, maybe it's my hearing. I've got too much wax in my left ear, so that could be the reason why. But did I enjoy this first episode? No. Was I looking forward to it? No, because this would have been the year that we would have had season 3 of The Mandalorian. But with the whole Gina Carano fiasco, getting rid of one of your most popular characters who had the best-selling line of toys in that franchise. And who gives a shit about Baby Yoda? Not me. That character needs to get bashed in the head a lot more often. But anyway, back to the main plot of what this show is all about. I have no idea. So when we see Boba Fett at the beginning, we see how he survives the Sarlacc pit. But here's an inconsistency. In Return of the Jedi, you have a leaner, meaner Boba Fett getting swallowed up in the pit. But in this version, he's gained a lot of weight over a period of time. Like, how is that possible? It's meant to be the exact opposite. You should be deteriorating over a rate of time. So that's an inconsistency that they just don't bother to deal with or even logically explain, because how can you? It's a Star Wars property. And then we are greeted with Boba Fett sat at the throne, and Fennec Shand, played by the oh-so-sexy Ming-Na Wen, who refers to him as boss. But I bet you what, those roles will be reversed by the end of the season. Guarantee it. So, yeah, she's standing there. She's a little bit fed up. All these people are walking in one by one, paying their tributes to Boba Fett, who's now anointed himself as the new crime lord, taking over Jabba the Hutt. And then, guess who walks in? Bib Fortuna, being a real douchebag for the next 3 minutes on screen. And basically it's a back and forth of, well, I'm not going to pay you a tribute, Mr. Fett. You're going to pay me a tribute. And of course now, this kind of leaves it a little bit open as to what's going to happen next. There's a little bit of animosity going on, so we'll see where that goes. But honestly, at this point, I could not care less. Then we get a scene where Fennec and Boba walk into a bar. I think it's one of his businesses, and they've got Latino music playing in a cantina. You see where I'm going with this? It's a little bit weird. And then we get the lovely Jennifer Beals turning up for a brief moment. No, she doesn't give us a flash dance, because I guess she's past it already. And then we move on to the next scene where, after collecting bundles of money, this is like their payment, I guess, for the business, they walk outside and they get mugged by these troopers I've never seen before. They've got holographic shields. They look pretty impressive. And in fact, the two protagonists actually get the living crap beaten out of them, even though they give a good fight back. And then we have these two Gamorrean guards who used to work for Jabba the Hutt, and they're now the loyal servants of Boba and Fennec Shand. And they put in a good fight, and it's okay. They repurposed a lot of sets from The Mandalorian, but I guess what you didn't see in The Mandalorian, they're kind of further expanded now on this particular episode. But the biggest shock about this episode is who directed it. Robert Rodriguez, the man behind El Mariachi, Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn. Yes, we all remember that Salma Hayek scene in the bar. This guy was renowned. He did Planet Terror, but then he kind of came down to earth when he did the Spy Kid movies, and even worse was Alita Battle Angel. What the hell was that shit show? Oh my god. Like, Robert Rodriguez has suddenly given up doing R-rated stuff, and he just can't bring the energy that he had for those films into this episode. Everything felt very slow and mundane. The stunt performers were just like moving in slow motion when they were moving at normal speed. There was just no rhyme or rhythm to the action. I just sat there and I was bored out of my mind. I'm thinking, okay, when is this all going to end? Okay, we've got another 10 minutes to go. I mean, the first 21 minutes of this episode, not a lot really happens. You get scenes, you get flashbacks between Boba Fett and the Tusken Raiders, those idiots with the loo rolls for eyes. Oh my god, seriously. I just hated all those flashback sequences, did nothing for me. It just established him as like, he's got the respect of the Sand people now, so I guess when he needs to call in a favor, he's got them at hand to help him out. And plus, if Boba Fett is such a tough ass, is such a big badass, how come he gets smacked in the head and he's knocked out unconscious by a Jawa? Tell me that. It's just bizarre beyond belief. And this whole episode felt like a box of empty. Nothing really happened. To me, it didn't happen. Maybe to a hardcore Star Wars fan out there, they might outsee several Easter eggs that got them going, got the juices flowing, if you know what I mean. But for me, it was just dead on arrival. So I don't think I'm going to watch any more episodes going forward, guys. If anybody reaches out to me and says to me, oh, watch the rest, dude, you're going to be in for a big surprise, fine. But another big shock, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau are involved in this episode, but honestly, I think their creative juices have been zapped out from having to rewrite season 3 for The Mandalorian, and I'll say no more on that one, folks. So if you enjoyed this quick spoiler-rific afterthoughts about Star Wars, The Book of Boba Fett Episode 1, please leave some comments below, please like the video, and by the way, before I shoot off, happy 2022, and I'll see you on the next video.
Like and subscribe, or get your nuts Krogan crushed with Jason King.